Hey everybody, Joe Joseph here for thedailysheeple.com, and this is your news shot. So to Yahoo News we go, where George Soros is being highlighted as saying that Facebook and Google's days are numbered. Well, Captain Obvious strikes again. I think that Soros is just stating the obvious here. I've been pretty vocal, especially over the past couple of months, as far as how Google and Facebook are going about their ways, and also noting that they are not going to make it out of here unscathed. As a matter of fact, they're shooting themselves in the foot just countless times to the point where they are going to end up imploding. It's not going to last. This power that they wield over everybody is not going to last. And I know, a lot of people say, well, what kind of power do they have? Only if you give it to them, of course. But how many billions of people have given them the power? It's an unbelievable thing, the culture of convenience, that drives us to capitulate to self-centeredness, desires, all this kind of stuff, things that we've been and society's been engineered to promote, instead of values and virtues and all of the things that are important. Those have been engineered out. And instead, what we have now today is the social media platforms that highlight and promote those things that are toxic. They've done a lot of good, too. Let's be real. I mean, you've got networking. We've networked like never before. Google has brought about a way to search that has basically the entire the knowledge base of humanity at your fingertips. I mean, they're unbelievable tools as well, but they've been horribly manipulated over the past, say, 5 to 10 years, and they are certainly not what they used to be at their inception. So with that said, George Soros now slams Facebook and Google, two companies he invested in recently, by the way. And anytime, by the way, that George Soros invests in your company, you better watch out, because normally this guy is investing on you imploding. He bets on you're going to fail. That's what he does. He says that he notes the rise and monopolistic behavior of tech platform companies have become a global problem. Now, if you remember yesterday, I did a video, a news shot on Davos, the World Economic Forum going on in Switzerland, and how other tech bigwigs are also sounding the alarm of what are now called the seven sisters of the tech sector that have basically become not so much monopolies, but certainly oligarchies, to the point where they have unbelievable power that's able to instantaneously snuff out any competition. They've done that for years and years. But also engineer society in a way that the control freaks could ever imagine. And now, of course, those control freaks are pissed off that they've lost the ability to control the narrative, to manipulate people's worldviews, to influence opinion, to propagandize, you name it. They are upset with the Googles, the Facebooks, the Amazons, because see, now these guys, they have basically said, look, you guys may have run the show for, this many years or whatever, but guess what? Now we're running the show. Soros don't like that. Not at all. Speaking at the World Economic Forum, Soros called out Facebook and Google for exploiting social environments and causing a, quote, variety of problems. He even suggested that companies could be tempted to compromise themselves to gain access to markets such as Russia and China. Compromise themselves. Just listen to that for a second. Here you have probably one of the chief globalists of the face of on the face of the earth that is talking about now compromising themselves to gain access to markets that really for decades have been out of reach. And now they're within reach, and he's like, whoa, 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 don't do it. He continues, he says, quote, the owners of the platform giants consider themselves the masters of the universe. See, there's that jealousy. But in fact, they are slaves to preserving their dominant position, just like George Soros. But we'll get into that later. Says it's only a matter of time before the global dominance of the U.S. IT monopolies is broken. Says Davos is a good place to announce that their days are numbered. Regulation and taxation will be their undoing. And EU Competition Commissioner Vestager will be their nemesis. Now, Soros believes one of the critical problems these networks cause is their ability to influence how people think and behave, often without them even being aware of it. Bullshit. I will tell you this right now. They are totally aware of what they're doing and what's going on. They are unbelievably aware of the changes to the social fabric of humanity that's taking place as a result of the changes that they make to their algorithms and to their services that they provide the users of their platform. They know unbelievably what they're doing. So Soros warned that at its current rate, Facebook will run out of new users to join its platform, even as it continues to penetrate globally. He said, quote, the distinguishing feature of internet platform companies is that they are networks and they enjoy rising marginal returns that account for their phenomenal growth. The network effect is truly unprecedented and transformative, but it's also unsustainable. It took Facebook 8.5 years to reach 1 billion users and half that time to reach the 2nd billion. And at this rate, Facebook will run out of people to convert in less than 3 years. And together, Facebook and Google have become advertising behemoths, controlling more than half of the internet ad revenue. So Soros contends to maintain their dominance, he says, they need to expand their networks and increase their share of user attention. Currently, they do this by providing users with a convenient platform. And the more time users spend on their platform, the more valuable they become to the companies. So, in a way, Soros is right in that their days are numbered. I disagree with how he says the downfall is going to happen, because I believe that they're going to shoot themselves in the foot. I think they already have. And so now you're going to have governments come and swoop in, and they're going to start regulating, and they're going to start taxing. And this is going to come about of their want and desire to control things so much that our non-representing representatives, who are controlled by the special interests, the control freaks, they are going to force the hand of governments across the globe to rein in and or break these platforms up. Now remember, just like Standard Oil, when John D. Rockefeller's Standard Oil was broken up, John D. Rockefeller actually grew in power as a result of that. So one thing to pay attention to as all of this unfolds, because I think 2018 is going to be the year that you start to see cracks in their power structure, if you will. We have to pay attention to this, because if they are broken up, oftentimes it would be like Google is now, where you have Alphabet as the parent company, and then underneath you have all these little subsidiaries that have to focus on, you know, basically that portion of the market that they're dealing with. When you do it that way, you actually make these companies more powerful on the whole. The people at the head of this still become more powerful. John D. Rockefeller got much more wealth once Standard Oil was broken up. You know, back in the beginning of the 20th century, they were called the money trust. And really what we're looking at now is a reemergence of that with, you know, your Jeff Bezos, valued at $111 billion. What in the name of God's green earth could you possibly need $111 billion for? Well, for example, let's just take baseball. Los Angeles Dodgers. That is a premier marquee franchise. And of course, we know that sports in America is unbelievably popular. The Dodgers sold for, I want to say, $2.1 billion. Now, for us and anybody else out there, hell, for 99.9999999% of America, that's a hell of a lot of money. There's not many single people that can put that together to buy a baseball franchise. This guy could buy like 50 or 60 of them. I mean, that's unbelievable. Unbelievable wealth. These people have to be reined in. And it has nothing to do with, oh, well, you're not free market. Oh, no, it has nothing to do with that. Because let me tell you something. These snakes, and that's what they are, your Zuckerbergs, your Bezos, all of them, Soros, they don't play by the rules. They do what happened, say, prior to 1929, whereas they have a ton of money. They flood the stock market with it. We've just seen it in Bitcoin. Bitcoin, 95% of all Bitcoins owned by 4% of people. 4% of all Bitcoin owners own 95% of the Bitcoin out there. These people buy massive amounts of it. They wait, and then they pull the rug out, and the people that are hurt by it is you. Oh, they make unimaginable wealth, but you lose everything. Look at how many people bought into Bitcoin at $15,000, at $20,000. How many people now are kicking themselves in the tuchus when it dropped to $10,000? Look at, whenever you have somebody out there with $111 billion, whenever you have a Warren Buffett, a George Soros, a Jeff Bezos, any of these guys, they will see that and they will co-opt it and they will take control of it and they'll pull the rug out from under it because they know that people's emotions, they know that people feel so desperate for something outside of that system of control that they will buy into anything that gives them even a sliver of freedom. And that's exactly what Bitcoin did. It gave people hope, much like the Ron Paul revolution did in 2007 when you had 1 million people march on Washington. They saw that, and they saw what that was capable of. So what happened? You had the freaking establishment come in and co-opt it. And then the Tea Party became Freedom Works, run by Republican operatives that then took the Tea Party, which started as a true grassroots movement of change, and turned it into a freaking establishment, second-rate organization that did nothing but brainwash people and bring them back in, rein them in. Because they saw what was happening. They were damn near ready to... We were very, very close to revolution in this country. Maybe not so much violent revolution, but people were pissed enough to finally say, oh, hell no, we're not doing this. You know? And now what are we seeing? The exact same thing come around with things like Bitcoin. What a wonderful idea to have an alternative currency outside of the control of central banks. It took off with amazing popularity, and then it was co-opted. And now people are starting to see what happens when these control freaks start to pull the rug out from under it. And a lot of people have lost a lot of money on it. Now, I'm not saying if Bitcoin's going to go away, and I'm certainly not telling you not to use it. Do what you want to do. But I'm telling you, be very, very careful, because there is nothing outside of the reach of these control freaks. And if you think that Facebook and Google breaking up and doing all that's going to weaken their position or whatever, it is not, my friends. It is merely a change. It's an illusion. It's an illusion that, oh, yes, you know, these companies are busted up. Oh, they don't have the power they used to have. It's an illusion. These people have plenty of power, And these companies will continue to have plenty of power, but they will do so in a different fashion. It will be perceived as them broken up and being less powerful. But we know that perception 99% of the time becomes reality for people. And they know that. And they're going to take full advantage of it. So folks, keep your guard up. And understand that with all this talk and Facebook and Google are going down, that they'll shoot themselves in the foot. But what reemerges out of the ashes isn't going to be what you think it's going to be. And we've seen that in history time and time again. I'm Joe Joseph. This was thedailysheeple.com's News Shot. Feel free to comment below and visit our website at thedailysheeple.com. # Wake the Flock Up. Have a great day, everybody.